Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Thank you for joining in. Please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined the group and are about to join or later see this wonderful program on Damorastakam. Thank you for stepping in at the last minute. Our speaker for today had some challenges, so we really appreciate your presence. And I know you have a very busy schedule, it being a Friday. In spite of that, you agreed. So without much ado, I'd hand over the session to you. We usually start with the Manglacharan. Do we have any volunteers who can do the Manglacharan today? If not, then I can do
You can go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Prem Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayetcha Titana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I think Tushar Prabhu
You have to mute Tushar Prabhu's phone. You have to mute him.
Tushar, can you mute it?
You can mute it for him as a host from the participants. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so over to you, Gurudev. Thank you very much for joining us. We have a special session today, devotees. We are going to have some insights into the Damorastakam, which we have been doing since the last 3 days. Hare Krishna, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. It's really wonderful to be here with all of you. Just want to make sure we see. Okay. I want to see who all the participants. We already have quite a few devotees here. So we'll get started. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are in the month of Kartik. This month is also called the month of Damodara. This month is soaked in Krishna's sweetness. In these very days, so many of his celebrated pastimes Let's see on a clear. So many of his celebrated pastimes unfolded in Braja. So many. Just the other day, we honored Sharad Purnima, which is the full moon night, which is pictured here, when the Lord and his closest devotees, the gopis of Vrindavan, manifested their Rasa Leela pastimes, the Rasa dance, very special dance. It's an expression of love between the Supreme Lord and his internal energy of his heart and her expansions. And of course, there's also a very famous tender Vrindavan memory connected with the day of Diwali. You might have heard of Diwali. So it's probably the most famous of the Vedic holidays, especially globally. If you ask somebody which is the one Hindu holiday, if they're not Hindus, they would know Diwali. Everybody knows that. On that day, very tender pastime took place. Many devotees may not be aware that this pastime of Mother Yashoda, tying Krishna, is a Diwali pastime. So she tied him to this wooden grinding mortar because of his mischief. And that tying of the Lord in ropes of love is what we come to celebrate in this month of Kartik. This month is named after him. Every evening of this month, the devotees sing the Damorastakam. Ashta means 8. So it's an 8-verse hymn, song that bathes the heart in devotion. Our tradition treasures many such hymns or song, and this one in particular is the most beloved. There's another Ashtakam we sing every day in ISKCON. The very first song we sing is Guru Ashtakam, the spiritual master, Samsara Dhavana. So this Ashtakam, this idea of 8 verses, it's very prominent in our culture, in our tradition. This particular one is one of the most famous, Damorastakam. So these verses, they glorify this Damodar pastime described in the 10th canto in the 9th chapter, the 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. And we accompany our singing by offering a lamp to Krishna. Now, the author of this song is a great sage by the name of Satyavrata Muni. And this song itself appears in one of the Puranas known as the Padma Purana. So it's very authentic. It's very ancient. It's just like, the Bhagavatam. It's as old as that. And it is considered devotion condensed. Now you have milk, and you condense it down. It's a devotion that is condensed down. And if we sing it with understanding, like you're not just singing the words because you've heard the word, but to know the meaning of the words, the meaning of at least each of the stanzas and the essence behind them, it gives us deep joy. So before we enter the verses, let's talk a little bit about Vrindavan. Vrindavan Dhama. Vrindavan is a place it's a forest. Van means forest and Vrinda means tulsi trees. It's a forest of tulsi trees. And the Dhama, Vrindavan Dhama means the Lord's abode, place where the Lord resides. So the entire spiritual world is known as Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means a place free from all kinds of anxiety, full of purity, full of love, full of knowledge, full of happiness. Now, in truth, the Lord pervades everything, even the spiritual world and the material world, both. But we do not perceive him everywhere when we are conditioned. People sometimes say, God is everywhere. So why should we go to the temple? God is everywhere. Why just stay at home or whatever, go wherever else? Why do you need to go to the temple? But Srila Prabhupada would answer gently that if God is everywhere, is he also not in the temple then? Are you saying he's everywhere except the temple? See, we go because in the temple, we can see him, we can serve him, we can hear and chant about him, we can gather around the one focus. Even the architecture of the temple is designed so it has a spire and it kind of leads us upwards. It gives us even a visual understanding that we want to move upwards, rise above our conditioning. And this notion is not unique to the Vedic culture. You see that in say, Christian church as well. They have a spire that has a vertical element. It kind of inspires us to look upward toward God. So he's in the temple, of course, but we go there to associate with other devotees who are also seeking that same goal. We go there to get that vibe, that feeling from other devotees. We go there to focus on the Lord, to sing about him. So this getting together and singing, offering to the Lord, that awakens the vision to see him everywhere, you see. The temple is the one that helps us tune our radios so that we can receive. See, the radio frequencies are everywhere, right? The radio is being broadcast everywhere. But unless our radio is tuned to that frequency, that everywhere means nothing. We'll not be able to hear it. We can't tune into it, you see. So the temple and association of devotees are coming from the picture of the Lord, coming from the deities, gathering and serving the Lord together. That tunes our radio frequencies. So now when we look everywhere, we see Krishna everywhere. Otherwise, our radios are tuned to other things, and we don't see Krishna, even though the radio waves of Krishna are everywhere. See, that's the point. It's very important to remember that. So our culture is a culture of respect. Everyone says namaste, namaskar, right? We begin with the Damorastakam with one word, namami. Namami. Namami Ishwaram, right? Namami, I offer my respects, my obeisances. His namaste is not just a mere greeting. We bow to the super soul in the heart of every being, seeing everybody as a potential temple of the Lord. Every body, every single moving body is a potential temple. Why? Because the Lord is there anyway in the heart. And when that consciousness is awakened, then the body does become a temple. That's why we say namaste, bow down unto you. So from that mood, we turn to the very first word of the hymn, Namami Ishwaram, Satchidananda Rupam. So Satyavrata Muni offers obeisances not to an impersonal light, but to a person, the supreme controller. Sometimes people have this idea that the highest absolute truth is not a form, doesn't have a form. But here we see, Namami Ishwaram, Satchidananda Rupam. Rupa means what? Form. But not an ordinary form like ours, different. See, Satchidananda, the person, the supreme controller. Ishvara means the controller, supreme controller, Ishvara, whose form is eternal, Sat, full of knowledge, Chit, and full of bliss, Ananda. So sometimes people argue that to ascribe a form to the absolute truth, to God, limits him. In fact, to say that God cannot have a form is the actual limitation. You see, because when you say he cannot, you are the one limiting. The one who has full picture, they say he has a form and he also has a formless aspect, both. But the impersonalists, they only say one. They negate the other one because they're the ones who are limiting him, you see. To say God cannot have a form. Also, it's absolute truth is just energy. I mean, you might have heard that, just energy. Look at the word just. The word just is used to limit. It's not used to expand. See, so Krishna consciousness, and not just Krishna consciousness, the scriptures, this is from Padma Purana. The scriptures emphasize the limitless form, not the limited formless. See, that's important to understand. We have to base our understanding on scripture, not some twisted word jugglery of the Vedanta. We need to see the full picture, not just pick and choose what we like and promote our own, impersonal philosophies. We don't need to do that. Krishna's form is spiritual. It does not age, it does not decay, it doesn't sicken. He's ever youthful and ever fresh. There's a difference. Now we're moving on to the difference between Vaikuntha and Vrindavan. Although Vrindavan is part of the larger spiritual sky, which is called Vaikuntha in general, but Vrindavan is different from the other parts of Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, the Lord is worshipped in awe and reverence as Narayan, Lord Vishnu. Love there is pure. It's not that there's not pure love. It's pure love for Narayan. But it's tinged with a respectful distance. Now, in Vrindavan, the Lord is at home. He is intimate, carefree, completely himself. But, just give me a second, something's going on. But the residents of Vrindavan, they love him without calculation. Their intimacy is the peak of bhakti. And it is what the Damodar Leela reveals. There's nothing between them and the Lord in terms of love. This Leela is going to teach us that. So we're going to enter this pastime. Once upon a time, that's how all beautiful stories start. Mother Yashoda was feeding milk to her little boy. Then what happened on the stove? A pot of milk began to boil over. So she put Krishna down in the middle of his feeding and rushed to save the milk. So Krishna, as a baby, as a toddler, he wasn't done. He wasn't done. And he felt neglected. So this king of Braja, little king, of course, he feels he's a king. He took action. He got angry. He broke the butter pots. He splashed yogurt all around the room and slipped around and found the overturned grinding mortar. It was turned over. So above, their pots of yogurt were hung from the rafters to keep them out of his reach. He climbed onto the mortar with his tiny hands and broke those pots. And not just broke them, but he shared the treasure of that golden butter with this crowd of delighted monkeys who just love hanging around him. And all the while, he kept looking around his shoulder because he knew that what he was doing was wrong. See, he knew he was going to get in trouble, so he kept looking. But he couldn't help himself from being naughty because he was angry. And Mother Yashoda arrived silently, stick in her hand. Krishna saw her and he jumped down and ran. And ran and ran and ran, but she ran faster than him. And finally she caught him. And now the verses come alive. Namami Ishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Bhrajamanam Yashoda Bhiyo Lukkhala Dhavamanam Param Rishnamatyanta Drutya Gopya. So this verse 1, it paints the scene. But the painting is so beautiful because you see, it's like a movie maker. When they make movies, right? They don't just keep the camera in one spot and let everything happen. They zoom in to the finer details. That's what a good movie maker does. So here you can see the camera is zoomed into what? It's talking about Gokula. So Gokula is the town. But in Gokula, it zooms right into not even Krishna's face, but in the shark-shaped earrings. So you can imagine it takes up the whole screen, just the earrings touching, swinging to and fro, and kissing his cheeks. That's intimacy. See? Lasat kundalam. Lasat, this kundal means the earrings, and the swinging back and forth. you see, and they're shark-shaped. So much detail. Swinging back and forth as he's running. So he's running in fear from the grinding mortar. Fear of who? Mother Yashoda. Yashoda bhiya. Bhiya means bhaya, fear. Ukhal, ukhalad dhavamanam. Ukhal means the grinding mortar. And is caught from behind. Gopya. Gopya refers to Yashoda, who ran with greater speed, of course. Krishna ran pretty fast, but his feet are tiny. And Mother Yashoda's, they're bigger. So she could catch up with him. So here we see the inconceivable absolute truth becomes visible. The absolute truth, the source of fear personified, is afraid of his mother's stick. Go on to the next one. Rudantam. Rudantam means to cry. Rudantam muhur netra yugmam rajantam karambhoja yugmena satanka netram muhu shvasakam patri rekhanka kantha Sthita graivam damodaram bhakti bhatam. Now we're zooming in more. The camera gets closer. Krishna is crying, not just crying, he's rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. Karambhoja. Kara means hands. Ambhoja means lotus, is rubbing. His neck ornaments, they're trembling with his quick breaths. Why is he breathing so quickly? Because he's afraid. And then this piercing phrase, bhakti baddham. He's ending bhakti baddham. Baddha means tied, but tied with bhakti. He's bound not by rope, but by the love of his pure devotee. So Mother Yashoda, she dropped the stick out of compassion. Because she could see he was really afraid. But she also decided to discipline the child. So she brought a rope and started to tie him to the mortar. Now, how afraid was Krishna? Because the word satanka netram. Netra is his eyes. Satanka means sa atanka. He was not just a little bit afraid. He was very afraid. He was terrified. Atanka means terror. If you're familiar with Hindi or Gujarati, we have this word atankavadi, means one who spreads terror. Terror means the next highest level of fear. So sa atanka means Krishna is terrified. See, someone may ask, was Krishna truly afraid or was he only pretending? Sahar Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that for the sweetness of his pastimes, Krishna truly enters the mood and forgets his supremacy completely. If it were only acting, the rasa would be thin. See, the feeling would not be real. Even Queen Kunti is bewildered by this. Remember, Queen Kunti, by the way, if you read her prayers, she's the first one giving prayers in Bhagavatam. She was there on that day and she witnessed this. You know how we visit each other on Diwali? This was Diwali day. She saw this thing happening. And she knew that he's the Lord, but still she was bewildered. Whoa. And so she also talks about Krishna being, even though fear is fear personified, is afraid of Krishna, yet Krishna is afraid of his mother. She recognized this. So this is the contradiction, this paradox. This is the nectar of Vrindavan, the Vrindavan pastime, that Krishna is actually afraid. Satanka netra. His Leela reality, what we are feeling here, what we think is the real world, this is not the real world, because there's nothing permanent about this at all. It's here, now, and gone. To next life, I'll be something else. Here, things are utterly inconsequential. They mean in this material world. In the spiritual world, they actually mean something. This is reality. even though Krishna is playing, but his play is very real, including his feelings. See? So what is happening now is she brought a rope and tried to tie him. But everyone knows the rope was always 2 fingers too short. She had another rope, again, 2 fingers too short. They kept adding, the gopis gathered, they were astonished, what's going on here? Rope after rope, again, always 2 fingers too short. To tie cows, you need ropes. And there's no shortage. For each cow, they'd have some length of rope, maybe 2 ropes, just in case one rope broke. They had 900,000 cows. So you can imagine how much rope they had access to. They had a whole massive warehouse of ropes. And all those were brought, and yet, somehow mystically, it's always too short. Krishna likes to do this every now and then, just really gets people tired. It just lengths and lengths and lengths. If you remember when he saved Draupadi, he had Dushashan pull the sari in lengths and lengths, miles and miles of sari. He got tired of it. So Krishna is like tricky like that. Here, it was always too short. At last, seeing her perspiration and her flowers falling from her hair, Krishna became satisfied with her effort and agreed to be bound. See, it's amazing. So what does that mean? These 2 fingers shortfall forever stand as our sadhana and his mercy. Nothing material can bind him, and no amount of our effort can guarantee that we'll be able to capture him in our heart. No. We have to also depend on the other finger, which is his mercy. And then we add our finger, but we need to put all our effort as well. If his mercy is there, our effort is not there, then that's also unsuccessful effort, unsuccessful bhakti. If we put our efforts and he doesn't give his mercy, that's also unsuccessful. And then we have to find out, why is he withholding his mercy? Am I being offensive? Am I having offensive attitude toward devotees? Then those kind of attitudes, when I develop, then even if you put effort, the mercy is being withheld. You see, so we have to put in effort and also avoid offenses. Then we can have the full picture of both the fingers covered, and the shortfall is covered, and we can tie him, and he likes to be tied up in our hearts. But there has to be enough rope. We need to work on the rope. Nothing material can bind him. Pure love binds him completely. Then we go to verse number 3. Iti driksvalilabhirananda kunde swagosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktairjitatvam punah prematastam shatavritti vande. This 3rd verse tells us the effect of these pastimes. That by such childhood leelas, Svalila, his past, Swa means his own, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy. Ananda Kunda. Kunda means a pool or a reservoir of water. Ananda means just bliss, ecstasy. And he is revealing to devotees attached to the majesty and opulence that he is conquered only by love. Love that is intimate and free of that awe and reverence that comes in the way of intimacy. And recognizing this, the poet Satyavrata Muni, he's bowing down to Damodar again and again. Sata Shata Vritti Vande, Vande. Again and again, I pray to you. I bow to you. Then verse number 4, let's see. He says, now, sometimes depending on who's singing, they change this particular verse to a higher note to show the change of mood. That this is now, it's a request, it's a prayer to the Lord. Oh Lord, you can grant every boon. Vara means boon, varam. but I don't want liberation, no residence in Vaikuntha or anything else. He says, Varam deva moksham na mokshavadhim va na chanyam vrineham varishadapiha idam teva purnatha gopala balam sada me manasya virastam kimanye. That I don't want liberation. You know how he said, I want to go back to God? No, he said, I don't want to go to be liberated. I don't want residence in Vaikuntha. I don't want anything else. I just want that this beautiful form of yours, this Bala Gopal, this child Gopal, Gopala Balam, the cowherd child, be ever manifest in my heart. That's what matters. If you are in my consciousness, front and center, I don't need anything else. So this real devotion is not for results, it's for relationship. And relationship means you're remembering him. You know, when grandma calls and tells you, hey, do you even remember me anymore? That's all they care about. That's what relationship is about. If you think of me, it's good enough for me. All he's asking here is, all I want is that I want to think of you and not stop thinking of you, my Lord. Please, never make me forget you, no matter what. This is what's worth asking for. The highest mercy is remembrance of Krishna as he is in his sweetness. That is relationship. You know, sometimes in birthdays, they sing, may you never take birth again, as they give a blessing. That's not the highest blessing. The highest blessing is this, that may you always think of Krishna in your heart. In our prayers, we don't pray for, oh, please, may I never take birth again. No, we pray, Varam Deva Moksha, I don't want moksha. In another prayer, which you sing every day, you say, right? Chakudan dilo jai, janme janme Prabhu say. My Lord, you're my Lord, birth after birth. I don't care for liberty. You're implying that I'm going to be here. I don't care. I just want you to be my Lord. You see. Even Lord Chaitanya says, Mama janmani janmani shware, bhavatat bhakti rahetu kitvayi. Birth after birth, may I have your unalloyed bhakti, unalloyed devotion. You see, getting free from the cycle of birth and death is a secondary thing. So you can see the difference. You know, when we give blessings, we should give this blessing. You know, this is much higher. That's the highest mercy. So we go on to fifth now, the fifth verse. It continues to linger on his beauty. Idam te mukhambojam atyanta nilai. It's a details of his beauty. The camera zooms in again. Vritam kuntalai snigdharataischa gopya muhoshchumbitam bimbaraktadharam me manasya virastamalam lakshalabhai. So this vision of a lotus face, now it's framed, it's encircled by soft black curls of hair, shiny hair, tinged with red. And this face is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda. And your lips are so beautiful, they're red like the bimba fruit. May that vision be manifest in my heart. This is not imaginative poetry. The scriptures and realized devotees describe the Lord so we can meditate on him authentically. They're guidelines, they're guardrails so that we can direct our energy of love and meditation along these paths. So if we surround ourselves with his names, with his stories, his deity form, painting of his pastimes, then we'll be successful. And then these internal paintings in our hearts. These are paintings too that we can paint in our hearts. These bimba fruit lips. And not just paintings, these are video clips. There's a lot of action going on in these. Mother Yashoda kissing him. In our difficulties, we should look upon these paintings, upon that beautiful face, and let our anxieties melt away. That's the whole point of this. Whole point of this month of Damodar is to collect all these sweet memories. So then the rest of the year, when we're dealing with stuff, we can lean on them for relief. because this Ananda only comes from Krishna. Now, verse number 6, again, the tune changes because the soul is crying now. The soul cries out, "Oh Damodar, oh Ananta, oh Vishnu, please, please, you please be pleased upon me. I'm drowning in an ocean of sorrow. Shower upon me the rain of your merciful glance and become visible to my eyes. Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabdhi Magnam Kripa Drishti Vrishtyati Dinam Batanu Grihane Shamamagyam Edyakshi Drishya. That shower upon me the rain of your merciful glance. Become visible to my eyes. We long not only to look upon Krishna, but to be looked upon by Krishna. See? Please look at me too. When we go to the temple to see him, we also go to present ourselves so that he may see us. There's a blind man who used to go to the Banka Bihari temple in Vrindavan every day. Every day he would go consistently during darshan and he would bow down. And one boy asked him, "Baba, I don't mean any offense, but you see you're coming for darshan, but darshan means to see. And you're blind. How are you able to see the Lord?" And then the Baba said, "No, no, no. I may be blind, but Banki Bihari is not blind. He has eyes. He can see me. I come to present myself to him that, my Lord, I'm here for you. Please let me serve you. I'm here. I'm putting my attendance. Yes, I'm present." To be looked upon by Krishna. So the idea is that do your service so well that the Lord desires to come and see you. That's what Prabhupada said. Don't try to see Krishna. Try to do things so that Krishna will want to come and see you. Let him become visible to your eyes by the purification of your efforts and your loving service. And of course, verse number 7 remembers the mercy that was shown to Nalakuvar and Manigriva, the two sons of Kuver. Kuver Atmajo, the two sons. Kuver Atmajo means the two sons. Kuver Atmajo Baddha Murtya Eva Yadva Tvaya Mochito Bhakti Bhajo Krito Cha Tatha Prema Bhaktim Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha. So we know the story of these two unfortunate fellows who later on became very fortunate. That in the previous life, they were intoxicated and then they were shameless before the sage Narada. And then they were cursed to become trees. So even if a curse is coming from a pure devotee, his curse is a benediction. So they took birth as these twin trees, Arjuna trees, in Nanda Maharaj's courtyard. So one day, this bound up child, Krishna, pulled a heavy mortar between those two trees. It's a great cracking sound, and the trees fell. And from the trunks emerged these two effulgent beings who offered prayers and gifts of devotion to Krishna. So this Satyavrat Muni, the poet here, the author, he prays, "Please, tatha prema bhaktim. Please, you give me that prema bhakti gift. I don't want liberation." Again, same thing. Na mokshe. Again, he's saying, I don't want liberation. Na mokshe graho mesti damodareha. I only want love. Only want bhakti. If you can give me that, that'll be the best, my Lord. So it's interesting that these two, Nalkuvar and Manigriv, were bound by the curse into this form of a tree. They're trapped in the material world, the material cycle, conditioned world. Similarly, we are also bound and trapped. We are trapped by the three modes. We're helpless in the way we can behave because the modes have us so viciously gripped in the material world. We can barely come out of our habits, just like being stuck in a tree body. It's hard to change. We're trapped. So these two were trapped also in the bodies of trees. But interestingly, when Krishna himself was bound up by ropes, he liberated them, even though he himself was bound up. You see, that is the amazing paradox of this pastime, that the Lord who is tied up is freeing us. So the more we meditate on this tied up Lord Damodar, the more free we will be from our ropes of conditioning. The three modes are called ropes. Guna means ropes. We're tied up by these ropes. And we want to come out of these ropes and get prema bhakti. Tatha prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha. Na moksha. I don't want liberation. I want prema. I want love for you, my Lord. Can you give me that? It's quite beautiful. Coming to the last verse. Now, this last verse includes the personality who is the greatest of all. See if you can notice the name. This verse 8, it offers obeisances the wonderful order, wondrous. First, to the rope that binds his belly. Namastestu damne. Damne means the rope. The rope is not a dead thing in the spiritual realm. Everything there is conscious and effulgent and always eager to serve. Then obeisances to his belly, like that. Namaste sudamne spura dipti dhamne tvadiyo darayatha vishwasya dhamne namo radhikayai tvadiya priyayai namo nantalilaya devaya tubhyam. Obeisances first to the rope, then obeisances to his belly. Dam and Udara. Dam is the rope and Udara is his belly. Dam Udara. But his belly is the boat of the entire universe. Because the universe all gets captured in the belly of Lord Narayan. So the sages, they're glimpsing into this mystery. Mother Devaki also, when the Lord was in the womb, she wondered about the Lord, in whose belly all the worlds are resting. And now that Lord is in my belly. Amazing. Then, of course, obeisances to Srimati Radhika. Namo Radhikaye. So Radhika's name is right there in this Purana. Radhika's name is not directly stated in Bhagavad Purana, but it's stated here in this Padma Purana. Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaye. Why? She is his most dear, his dearmost. And finally, to Lord Damodar himself, the Anantalilaya Deva, the Lord who is the God of unlimited pastimes. So in Kartik, we particularly approach Krishna through Srimati Radharani's mercy. She is Kartika Devi herself, and she teaches us how to bind him with love. And from this exploration, we have a few lessons that settle in our heart naturally. First, mercy is available, especially in Kartik. Our part is sincere effort and avoiding offenses. Like Yashoda's persistence with the rope. And of course, the other finger is his grace. Second, love is greater than liberation. We saw that in several places. The poet refuses every boon except for remembrance of the Lord. Let that also become our prayer. Say, my Lord, let this flame be my love. Please remove the darkness within me. Third, service opens the eyes. We don't force the vision. We live the vision. And the Lord then reveals himself. That's how it works. That's the way. That's the system. Fourth, Vrindavan's intimacy is the pinnacle of devotion. It's the highest. Awe and reverence has its place, of course, but yet the Lord is fully conquered by the spontaneous, affectionate style of Vraja Bhakti. Fifth, associate with Krishna through sound and sight. Sing these verses daily. Offer a lamp. Keep his form before your eyes. Let your heart soften with the warmth of this lamp. Let's pause for a moment for inner meditation. Close your eyes. See little Damodar. His cheeks are wet with tears, with black streaks of mascara. He's rubbing his eyes with his beautiful, soft lotus hands and his baby fat. See Mother Yashoda's hands tying the knots into the rope. Feel that same rope now as a garland of devotion around your own heart, tying you to Damodar. Feel that rope. Whisper inwardly, "Oh Lord Damodar, please shower me with your merciful glance and become visible to my eyes." So as you continue through this month of Kartik, sing Damorastakam every evening, not as a ritualistic formality, but as a conversation, a heartfelt prayer. Let each verse, now that you know the meanings, let each verse be your voice and his answer to you. Srila Prabhupada would remind us that Krishna's mercy is always there for us. Like the sunshine is always there. But we are the ones who don't want to step out from under this rock that we've crawled under. See? Our good fortune is to accept the sunshine of his mercy. We just have to try sincerely, and he will surely reciprocate. We can be confident in that. And may the rope of Mother Yashoda's love teach us how to love. May the lamp we offer outside be matched with the lamp we kindle within the heart. Let it be matching, Let us be connected. The inner lamp. Light both the lamps. When you light today, the lamp. Light the inner lamp and the outer lamp. Then you offer it together. Okay. And may Radha Damodar dwell in our minds and homes. And may our lives become soft with bhakti. And may our hearts blossom and feel the happiness that we have always been seeking. And then may every day and every moment we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you all very much for your kind attention, for coming, and for your valuable time. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Gurudev, for this fantastic session. You transported us to Vrindavan, and we had a glimpse of what was happening there. Are there any comments or questions from the group? I think everybody is transported back home to Vrindavan and trying to come back. I know it's difficult. I really liked it when I lost connection between verse 5 and 7, but before that, I thought it like as if we were putting in an application to the Lord and saying, Lord, let me not forget you. I mean, that's one thing that really gripped me, and I will meditate on that we always ask for this, that, other things, let this happen, but this is a prayer that I'll include. Let me not forget you. We are taught not to, we are supposed to think of Krishna all the time and never forget him. But if you put in that as an application, that Lord, please, please, please don't let me forget you, I think he might shower his mercy on us. So thank you very much.
See Panchali, Mataji, the hand up.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. First of all, just wanted a quick comment, just a big apology because I joined very late. So I look forward to attending your classes from the beginning next time. And also apologies because I missed you when you were in London recently. I was not here, I was in India at the time, but I also look forward to you returning to London so that I can personally serve you. Thank you, Prabhuji. So as I echo Kritika Mataji's, whatever little I heard, you transformed us to Vrindavan. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes. The whole point of, thank you so much. And thank you for welcoming me again to London. I had an incredibly amazing time in London, with everyone was just pouring so much care and attention. Kirtika Mataji, Shilen Prabhu, Tripti Mataji, they're all right here. And I just felt so much at home there. Even though it was my first time, it was quite amazing. So I look forward to coming there again. Yes, Tripti Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all Vaishnavas everywhere. Just wanted to say a wonderful class, wonderful explanation of the Damorastakam, the love between Krishna and Yashoda Maya. And another thing I wanted to say is this Panchali Mataji is a very, very important member of our morning meditation group. Where you came, she wasn't there when you come to our group to enlighten us about the japa meditation. So she missed that opportunity to associate with you, but she's amazing. Also, she reads a lot and she shares all her knowledge with her wisdom on the scriptures with us every morning whenever it's her time to lead. She's amazing, and thank you. But I just want to say thank you very much to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Tripti Mataji. Yes.
Shame. It's only because you're such a great devotee. So thank you. And I mean, I didn't think I need to say anything to introduce you to anybody, including MadanaGopala Prabhuji. You served him so well when he was in London as well. So thank you to Tripti Mataji for your association as well in the morning.
Yeah. I'll have to now look at my calendar and book my next ticket shortly. I'm getting so much pull coming from that direction, so I should go.
Yes, we can remind you every other day.
Hare Krishna.
Panchali Mataji is a regular on this group. Every Saturday she gives a session as well. So I see a lot of new devotees today. So kindly join in the same link, same time.
Kirtika Mata, you can, there you go. Okay. We have quite a few. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah. And there is a question in the chat.
Let's see. Yes. Unrelated question. Seek to understand the nature of the soul, its origin, fallen in mature world. Why cannot remember past lives? What distinguishes the eternal throne from Bhagwan if Abheda is non-different is taught? Can a soul that was once a ghost attain liberation? Why do some souls experience poverty and mental illness? Yes. So lots of questions, Collins, Diwa. Yes. Many questions. I can just summarize these, but it's the essence of our predicament right now, is that we understand from the Gita, the nature of the soul is eternal. Eternal means beginningless and endless. So there's never a time when we did not exist. When I read that, I was like, wow, that's so hard to understand, because we usually think there's a birthday, and then I'm going to die, and then that's it. Okay, maybe I'll never die. Maybe I'm eternal. But I did come into being at one point. There was a time when I didn't exist. And then I was created by God. But that's not true either. See, Krishna says there's never a time when you didn't exist. So God didn't create us. Really? I thought we always say God created us. No, he didn't. We are the same age as God. See, in that sense. Because we're both ageless. Nityo nityanam, chetanas chetananam. Eka bahunam yo vidadadikamans. The only difference is that our age is the same. But the categorical difference between God and us is that God, or the absolute truth, he Eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. He fulfills the desires of the many. So there's only two categories of eternal beings. One category has many members, and the other category has only one member, that's Krishna. Krishna fulfills the desires of all the other members, who are also eternals. See? Now, to fulfill their desires, he gives them options. He gives us options. You have two options. One is to be fully natural and be yourself. Or another option is pretend. You can be a pretender. So you want the pretend world, or you want the natural, be yourself world. And because he gives us the freedom out of love, and he says, this is, it's completely up to you. This is part of being loving, is I give you the freedom to be natural, or the freedom to be pretend. So some of us, very few of us choose the pretend world. Majority chooses the natural world, which is the free world. So because those of us who are trapped in the material world, this is a pretend world where we can pretend to be something we're not. So now the complexities of this pretension are endless. And those are the things that you're talking about here: getting a ghost body, getting a physical body of an animal, maybe of a human being, whether we forget the past lives or you remember the past lives. All these are complexities of the pretend world. See? But at the core of it is the nature of the soul is eternal. We are trying to be happy here, but it's pretend. So pretend world can never make us truly happy, because you can never be happy when you're not yourself. So Krishna keeps coming to the pretend world, to the material world, reminding us, stop pretending. Be natural, be yourself. I'm here to remind you. Come on, this is the way to kind of undo the pickle that you've put yourself into. See, and that's what liberation is about. So yes, a ghost is also basically just a soul that's trapped only in a subtle body, doesn't have a physical body. And that has a time limit too. See, after a certain time, then that ghost body gets naturally born into another physical body, gross body. See, so souls, so all of us as souls, we experience different things. Sometimes we're poor, sometimes we're mentally ill. These are all results of our karmic activities. Sometimes a person was incredibly smart most of his life, at the end becomes incredibly ill mentally. Like they get, mental degradation happens, and sometimes they really lose it, and it's hard to control. So all kinds of things are part of our karmic cycle. And because our work can be complex, our karma can be complex, so the combinations of the results can be also very confusing and complex. But the main thing for us to understand is we should know what to do and what not to do. Krishna says in the Gita, Arjuna, the intricacies of karma is so complex, you can never fathom why cause this, why you have this. It's too complicated. Okay, then what am I supposed to do? You just need to know two things. You need to know what to do and what not to do. See? So that's why the Gita has all these answers in a very succinct way. If you study the Gita very nicely, you'll see that there's Bheda and Abheda. We are expansions of the Lord in one sense. In that sense, we're the same because we're children of God in one sense. Children in the sense that we're expansions, we depend on him in that sense. It's not that we came into being, but we depend on him. In that sense, we're children. But because we're identical in our spiritual nature, we are Abheda, we're non-different. But because we are tiny and he's big, we're different in that sense. See, so therefore is Achintya, Bheda and Abheda. We are one also, and we're a little different also. If you can understand these two, at least get a sense of these two ideas, then things are clearer. This discussion is a lot because each of your questions is like a whole topic of discussion. I'm just trying to summarize it. It's hard to address this in just 1 or 2 minutes, but feel free to reach out to me if you have any other questions. If you want to discuss this further, you can get my contact information from Kirtika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Gurudev, we have exhausted our time, and I know you have a busy schedule as well. So we start on time and finish on time, unless anybody has a burning question. If not, then I will request Eastern Prabhu kindly end the session. And I'd like to, before we end the session, we'd like to thank everybody who have joined, who are new to this group. kindly join in every day. We run this session, even on weekends. We never stop. So Hare Krishna, and thank you very much for your association today. And let us chant 3 Hari Bols in glorification of all the newcomers before we thank Guru Maharaj. Let us unmute and chant. Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Mr. Prabhu, over to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. It was so insightful and so eye-opening, and we understood the Damorastakam and the glories that we are to learn today. Thank you so much for the class. I would like to invite each and every one of us to keep joining. It's a very nectarian class, and we usually learn a lot. And with that, I will invite each and every one of us to unmute and chant one round of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in the glorification of His Grace, MadanaGopala Prabhu, for the wonderful class.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
and Ram.
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
Kalpatarubhyascha, Eva
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo
Vaishnavibhyo
Namo Namaha.
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 Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing all of you again.
Jai.
Gopal Prabhuji ki, Gurudev ki
Jai.
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 Santraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
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 Damorastakam ki jai.
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 All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to
Hare
the
Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Thank you so much.